pa ma ga ri sa ni sa ga ma pa da pa ma ga ri sa ni sa ri sa ma ga ma pa da pa ma pa ga ma pa ma pa ni sa ni da pa ni sa da pa ma pa ga ma pa ni sa ri ni sa pa ni ma pa ga ga ma ma pa pa ni sa ga ri sa ni da pa ga ma ga ri sa ga ma pa ni sa ga ma ga ri sa ni da pa ga ma pa ni sa ri sa ni da pa ma pa நீ அல்லா துணை இல்லை பூவித நீனே தயை புரிவையே நிஜமிது வனஜனயன நீனது பயச்சரணம் அனவிலு மரவா எனது தாபம் மரவாதருள் இறைவா முரளிகான குளிர் நீரை மதி வதனனே முரகர முனிவர் தோழும் கமல சரணனே.
Hello and welcome back to Raaga Rasika. This is a podcast program that explores the world of Carnatic music. Joining me from Albany, New York is Vidya Subramanian. Vidya, during the course of our series of episodes on Carnatic music, each time you have discussed a raga, you have introduced it by singing the scale of the raga and talked about the Arohanam and Avarohanam of the ragas. I recall we did this with ragas such as Natai, Varali, Kalyani, Mukhari, and so on. I'd like to devote the next few segments to a discussion of these two terms, Arohanam and Avarohanam, which are essentially the ascending and descending scales in Carnatic music. Vidya, could you introduce to us these terms?
Certainly. The term Arohanam is used to refer to the ascending portion of the scale, that is, the first half of the scale that consists of the notes going up. And typically the Arohanam can consist of anything between 4 to all 7 notes. And the Avarohanam is the descending portion of the scale of a raga, which can again consist of between 4 to 7 notes. And it is important to understand that the terms Arohanam and Avarohanam and the term scale, even though used interchangeably, are not essentially the same in every sense. The scale in some ways is construed as the plain flat note positions, whereas the Arohanam and Avarohanam is typically rendered with a certain level of ornamentation to the notes, and unless this ornamentation or gamakam is used, one cannot really understand even the rudiments of the swarupa of the raga. Many of our listeners may recall the episode on Kalyani raga, where I sang the flat plain scale and then I sang the same scale with the characteristic oscillations and microtones for Kalyani raga. So Arohanam and Avarohanam implies that the scale is sung with these adornments.
Interesting, Vidya. Speaking of Arohanam as consisting of 4 to 7 notes, there was one question that came across my mind, and that was, if I have a raga that has, let's say, 5 notes in the ascending scale, does it have to have 5 notes in its descending scale as well, or is there some flexibility around that?
There is a lot of variation in the types of Arohanam and Avarohanam, and we will be talking about the different possibilities in greater detail in the next episode. But to answer your question, there are many ragams where the Arohanam can have, say, 5 notes and the Avarohanam has all the 7 notes. Or there could be a ragam where the Arohanam has 6 notes and the Avarohanam has only 5, and so on. So there are several possible combinations. So to illustrate, I would like to sing the Arohanam and Avarohanam of ragam Dhanyasi. Dhanyasi is a major, well-established raga. It is an example of a raga which has 7 notes in the Avarohanam or descending portion, but only 5 notes in the Arohanam or the ascending portion. Sa ga ma pa ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa sa ga ma pa ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa.
Vidya, I have another question to ask you here. Let's say I was at a concert listening to an artist rendering an alapana in Dhanyasi. Would it be fair to say that the artist will never touch Ri and Da whenever he is in the ascending portion, but he would always have to touch these 2 notes only in a descending format?
The answer to that question essentially would depend on the individual raga that we are considering. So it is very difficult to generalize the answer. So in the case of Dhanyasi, the example we have at hand, you are allowed to sing Gama Pada Pa in a special prayogam or phrase, but you cannot sing Gama Pada Ni. So let me illustrate that. Gama Pada Pa Ma Ga Ri Sa Ni Ga Ga Ma Pada Pa Ma Pa Ga Ri Sa. That is totally acceptable, but you cannot sing Pada Ni Da Pa. That will not be considered as Dhanyasi. Same way for the Ri, you can sing Ni Sa Ri Sa Ni Ri Sa. The reason why this phrase is allowed is because when you look at Nisa Risa or Gama Pada Pa, the Ri and Da are considered as part of the descending segment. Nisa Risa is split as Nisa and then the Risa. Same way, Mapa Dapa is split as Mapa and Dapa. So, you can look at it as occurring in the descending sequence essentially. I hope this answers your question.
I guess so, Vidya. I'll probably have to listen to this episode a couple of times to understand this better and appreciate the nuances there. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about how much the Arohanam and Avarohanam tell us about a raga.
That's a very profound question, Devesh. And the answer to it essentially depends on how old and how well explored the particular raga is. So let's take an example of a really well-established raga, say Shankarabharanam. So I'm going to sing the Arohanam and Avarohanam of Shankarabharanam. It has all the 7 notes in both the ascending and descending segments. The scale of Shankarabharanam is amongst the most popular scales in the world of music. Sa ri ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa sa ri ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga ri sa. If I were to sing this Arohanam and Avarohanam to a musician who has never heard this Ragam Shankarabharanam, and if I were to ask him to sing or play this Ragam in an alapana on an instrument, I would say it would be very difficult to bring out the essence of the Raga. The reason being that the Raga Shankarabharanam is much, much larger than the scale. My Guru Lalgudi Sri Jayaraman used to mention in his classes that the scale is akin to the skeleton. It gives a very basic, bare bones picture of the raga. It is important because it is like a stepping stone to understanding the raga, but it is definitely not the full form of the raga. So to continue with the Shankarabharanam example, the best way to understand this ragam would be to learn several compositions in the ragam. So considering the Shankarabharanam Varnam, which is typically one of the compositions that an intermediate level student of Carnatic music would know, the Varnam begins as follows. Sa mi. The swarams behind this lyric being Sa So this Dhanipa phrase is very, very important to this Ragam Shankarabharanam. And one would never understand this by looking at the scale, because the scale says Sani Dapa. Certainly you can sing Sani Dapa in an Alapana of Shankarabharanam, but if you sing the Dhanipa, it is considered as beautiful Shankarabharanam. And how does one understand this? Again, only by listening to improvisational pieces performed by master musicians and by learning several compositions in the Ragam Shankarabharanam. Shankarabharanam being a very important Ragam in the world of Carnatic music, we will definitely come back to it with a dedicated segment so that we can look at the different phrases and nuances of this Ragam in greater detail. Moving on, let us take another example of a Raga which is considered to be a relatively minor Raga and a much newer Raga. The Raga that I have taken up to illustrate is Raga Urmika. The Arohanam and Avarohanam for Urmika are as follows. Sa re ga ma pa ni sa sa ni pa ma ga ri sa sa re ga ma pa ni sa sa ni pa ma ga ri sa. Now if I were to present this scale to a good musician who has never heard or performed Raga Urmika before, and if I ask them to perform an alapana of the Raga, chances are they would do a great job of it, because Urmika scale really tells us most of what is there to know about the Raga as of today. Of course, over the next couple of centuries, there could be several new compositions that are made in this Raga which focus on certain aspects of the Raga and make those aspects more important than others. But as of today, Urmika is considered as a minor Raga and there are not too many compositions. So to continue this illustration, I'm going to sing a segment of a Chittaswaram, that is a pre-composed note passage from a Kriti, Yentani Vina Vindura. In this Ragam Urmika, it was composed by Pallavi Seshayar. It is set to Adi Talam in Tisra Nadai, that is, where each beat is subdivided into 3 components. And as the listeners listen to the segment, notice how it essentially traverses the scale of the Raga. It is definitely a beautifully composed Chittaswaram, but notice how different this is from the Shankarabharanam example, where you had to really know the Raga through several compositions before being able to attempt improvisation in that particular Raga. Vigama pama gama bani pa ma pani re sa ni re ni pa ma ga bani pa ma ga re ga pa ma ga re sa re gama pama gama bani pa ma pani re sa ni re ni pa ma ga bani pa ma ga re ga pa ma ga re sa re gama pani sa re gama re ga sa re ni sa re gama pani sa re ni sa pani ma pa re ni pa ma ga re sa.
That's fascinating, Vidya. That's really illustrative of the fact that this field of Carnatic music is constantly evolving and transforming over time. As you mentioned, in 100 years from now, maybe this Raga Urmika might be a major Raga with well-established phrases and well-known compositions, such that musicians should render those phrases just as Shankarabharanam needs certain phrases to be expanded upon today.
That's an excellent summary of my point, Devesh. As we were discussing in an earlier segment, we say that Carnatic music had its origins in the Vedas, and the art has continued to evolve and develop until today. And I can already think of several examples of ragas which have evolved from a very minor status to a much larger status today. To give an example, there is Raga Ranjani, which, say, even 50 years ago was considered as a minor raga, not suitable for a great deal of improvisation or elaboration. And today we have musicians performing Ragam Tanam Pallavi and the highest level of improvisation in this Raga Ranjani. So ragas continue to develop, and over the centuries, some ragas gain greater prominence while others fade away, and it is a continuous, alive, and very exciting process.
Thank you, Vidya. Let's actually stop here and pick up next time and talk about the various types of Arohanam and Avarohanam. To learn more about Vidya, visit her online at vidyasubramanian.com. Vidya and I are calling for submissions for a special listener-submitted episode 50. We'd like to dedicate this episode to you all, our listeners. We welcome you to contribute and participate in Raaga Rasika. Here's how you go about doing it. Record a 3-minute snippet of yourself singing or playing a Carnatic piece. It can be a composition or just a Raga Alapana. Email it to us in MP3 format at Raaga Rasika, that's RAAGARASIKA at live.com. When you do email us your submission, please let us know your name, where you're from, and a little bit about yourself. We welcome submissions from listeners of all ages. Vidya and I will select some of the really interesting submissions and play them live for you for episode 50. As always, we look forward to hearing from you. Contact us at www.raagarasika.com. Thank you, and hope to see you next time. Till then, goodbye.
Muhurihanigamah Varega Mridayata Radha Madhava